So, you want to start a YouTube channel. I get talked to all the time about this. I would say probably like 50 50% of people whose cars I review at some point when I meet them, we're talking about the car, they'll say, "Oh, I've always wanted to do YouTube," or "I tried YouTube and it didn't really work," or, they ask me questions, and I just get asked all the time of like YouTube questions. How do you get into it? Is it worth it? What are your tips? That sort of thing. So I decided I'd do an Ask Zach about it. I want to preface this by saying that I don't have all the answers. This is just what I have found to work. Maybe don't take this as as scripture. But these are the things that have helped me. This is what I tell people when they say, "Hey, I want to get into YouTube. What are some pointers?" The first thing that I always tell people is to just do it. If you want to start YouTube, if you've been kicking around the idea, "Oh, maybe I want to do this, maybe I want to do that, I want to try it out," I always tell people, do it. With the disclaimer that your first video is going to suck. It is going to be terrible. It is going to be awful. You're probably going to be a little embarrassed by it. And that's normal. Your second video, it's probably also going to suck and probably not be great. Your third video will probably also be up there on the suck chart. But your fourth video, you're going to have 3 videos worth of knowledge and experience. Your fifth video is going to be a little bit better. Your sixth video is going to be a little bit better. I have done 1,700 car reviews, 1,700 cars I have reviewed. Porsche's some of my favorite. I thought I'd bring out the Lego model today down in Grandma's basement. I still feel like my videos aren't that great. I know that there's room for improvement, and sometimes I'll watch a video from 2 years ago and think, what the heck was I thinking? Or I'll have an opinion that just isn't true anymore. Or things change, things like that. My point being is that don't let the fear of something not being the best video on YouTube stop you from creating. Another thing that goes with that is I regret not starting earlier. Now, in February, my channel hit 10 years old. I've been editing videos and producing YouTube content since 2008 on other channels and other platforms. I did gaming videos for the first 7 or 8 years, 2008 to like really 2015, 2016. I was still making, gaming videos. I did skit videos for a long time with my friends throughout junior high and high school. Again, under different channels. I still wish that I started this car thing sooner because I had access to cars when I had just turned 16. I had friends that were turning 16 and I could have filmed their cars. Up until recently, I hadn't filmed a first gen Speed 3. Now, this was like 3 years ago that I finally filmed one. But I drove a first gen Speed 3 for a very long time. I learned stick shift on that car. It was a neighbor's car, and anytime he went out of town, he would leave the keys and we could go drive it, my brother and I. I wish that I had reviewed that car. I wish I had high definition footage of that car that I spent a lot of time in, and things like that. So I always tell people, start as soon as you can. Just start making stuff. You're going to start to learn along the way. You're going to start to pick up things. The second thing is that I always tell people to fall in love with the back end. And I know that sounds adult. What I mean by that is fall in love with the editing, fall in love with the description writing, although I just copy paste now, but fall in love with that process, fall in love with all of the stuff after you hit record or hit pause. So many times, the biggest thing that I see with channels failing is people just can't edit. Or they don't want to edit. They don't want to set aside the time to edit. When I film a car review, it's usually about It's about an hour to an hour and a half for the filming process. That's 20-ish minutes of me, 20, 30 minutes of it, me driving it, and then, another 40 minutes of me taking my camera and going around every angle and things like that. The editing process per video is about 3 to 4 hours. That stuff you never see. Obviously, you see the end product. And I'm looking at my desk because it's across the way. You don't see me sitting at my desk for 4 hours, editing a video and making sure that the clips line up to a 1988 turbo Chrysler K car. You know what I mean? It's the stuff that people don't see that you really have to enjoy. Or if you don't enjoy that, you have to hire an editor or get someone that does enjoy that, because I have so many friends that are so talented. They can wield a camera like it's a third appendage. They can edit till the cows come home. They're artistic, creative people, but they just can't get themselves to lock in, as the kids say, and just edit the dang thing. And so there are channels, I started my channel in 2015. There are a handful of channels that we were all kind of growing at the same time. And I now am very thankful. I have about 181,000 subscribers. I look back at those other channels of people who just stopped editing and stopped posting, and they're kind of frozen in time around 10,000, 11,000 subscribers. And we were growing at the same rate. I'm 100% confident that they would be at the same number that I'm at if they just stuck with it. A lot of the thing is just kind of sticking with it, of just being there, of just showing up. Showing up is 90% of the battle. And that was the same thing with the dealerships. And I could get into so much of that stuff. But, I would go to a dealership every single week. And sometimes just because I was there, I'd be filming a car and a new car would come in. And they're like, hey, you're already here. Do you want to drive the new X, Y, or Z? And I would go, yeah, I mean, this has happened countless times. So showing up, being there, just producing the content is the biggest thing. If you have an idea, make a rough thing. The worst thing that could happen is you delete it and make a new one. That's the thing, is that, like, if I made a video about the sinking of the Titanic and I used, hand-drawn cartoons to show it. But later I learned how to use an animation software. Cool. Delete the first one, remake it again. You can remake it a million times. I've reviewed a ton of 1999 Toyota Camrys. I'll keep doing it though, because I think I can still make it better. So you don't have a whole lot to lose besides maybe a couple hours on a Saturday. I mean, obviously don't quit your day job to try to pursue YouTube day one. That's the other thing I do want to share. I will share this graphic up on the screen. This is my revenue, how much money I made on YouTube over the last 10 years. I'm very fortunate to do this full time. However, as you'll notice, look at the first half of the graph. I always tell people I didn't make any real money for the first 5 years that I did YouTube. And honestly, nothing even, take homeable until the last 3 years here on YouTube. It's funny, I just did my taxes and I look back at my previous tax returns, and not only 3, 4 years ago, I was making under $20,000 a year, which is below the poverty line here in Illinois. So I always tell people it's a slow gain. If you want to make money tomorrow on YouTube, you should have started 5 years and 1 day ago. So that's another thing. Other little tips that I have for people. My buddy John, Boosted John, he actually just started posting on YouTube again. He wasn't who I was talking about earlier, but very talented, very good guy. He does Honda videos, and he just bought a C5 Corvette to build. He took a class with Social Blade, which is like a website that does like analytics and whatnot. And he told me he took this class and he like basically boiled down the findings. Pardon. He told me that they told him that the thumbnail is the most important part of the video. What you pick as your thumbnail, it's your movie poster, it's the eye catcher, it's going to generate the most clicks, whatever the thumbnail is. That's why clickbait is such a important thing, and why frustratingly clickbait works. And when clickbait works, I make more money. So it's this really frustrating like morality thing of like I try not to clickbait in my videos. I try to make the thumbnails as clear as what they are. If you see the car, you like the car, you'll click on it. If you don't like the car, you won't click on it. I try not to do like the YouTuber like, but it works. It works. So, getting back to my point, thumbnail's most important. Try to make a good, catchy thumbnail. There's plenty of better videos on how to do that. High contrast colors, high saturation. The human brain recognizes a face faster than any shape in the world. So that's why a lot of people put their faces in the thumbnails. I think it's kind of vain, but that's my own personal opinion. That's why my face normally isn't in the thumbnail. The title's the second most important, so something catchy. I honestly think my titling system is the dumb way to do it because I put the name of the car first, and then sometimes like the subtitle, is this worth $55,000? That will like sometimes get cut off or something. What I really should do if I want more clicks is to put like, is the new Chevy Traverse really worth it in all caps? And then dash 2025 Chevy Traverse Z71 review. That's what I filmed today. That would be a better way to generate clicks probably, but I don't like how that looks. And the car is the focal point of the video, not me. Thumbnail number 1, title number 2. Description should only be for links and hot words and SEO words. SEO means search engine optimization. So like the Chevy Traverse that I just drove, I might put down in the description like something about the 2.5 liter. So when people Google it, that would be a associated word. So if someone types in Chevy Traverse 2.5 liter, is it reliable? And I put 2.5 liter, is it reliable in the description of my video, then it's going to come up. So don't really worry about too much about the description, thumbnail, and title. Last quick thing that I always tell people that has helped me on YouTube, has been scheduling. You guys know pretty well that my videos come out every day at 2 p.m. Central. When I first started on YouTube, I did once a week. I think I did like Mondays or something. And then I moved to Monday, Fridays, and then I moved to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I moved to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and now, as of the making of this, which I might slow down, we'll see, but it's 7 days a week. And so, knowing that time, and you could pick, I have friends that do 10 a.m., I have friends that do 6 p.m., I wouldn't do anything much later than 6 p.m., at least here in the in Central Time, because that's 7 o'clock, Eastern, and that's getting kind of late. You might miss a chunk of people. I do 2 p.m. Central because it's right in the middle of the day. So, like, East Coast at the time, because I decided this in high school, kids are just getting home from high school at 3 p.m. on the East Coast. So then, the sub's going to be, or the video's going to be fresh in their sub box. And on the West Coast, it's lunchtime. So I get a lot of people who watch my reviews on their lunch because they're, 15 minutes or under. Normally I have like 30 minutes for lunch. And so on the West Coast, it comes out right at noon, which is when a lot of people take their lunch break. So that was my reasoning behind that. But again, pick a time that works for you. YouTube's pretty good. They'll give you analytics of like when your audience tends to be online. Which mine is skewed because my audience happens to always be online at 2 p.m. because that's when my video comes out. So then my audience is online. So I don't get like when I don't post a video, what they're doing sort of thing. But yeah, so that's a very long-winded way of saying, oh, this was the last thing I want to say. Don't buy any equipment. Don't buy anything. Get that camera out of your Amazon shopping cart. Start with your phone. If you really want, you're craving to buy something, buy a microphone. These are DJI microphones. They're wireless. They're $250. They can go. They can hook up to your phone. They can also hook up to your camera. I record with the internal memory. So then, if something fails, I just drove a Hyundai Accent. I didn't hit record on this, so I still had the audio from the GoPro as two separate tracks. So it's a little bit less, but I still made it work. Don't buy any equipment. I have people message me, hey, I just bought a drone. I think I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And then they make one video. So the cost of that one video was now $2,000, and they have this $2,000 drone that they probably won't use again. Film the thing with your phone, film the thing with your camera that you already have, borrow, dad's handy cam or whatever. Make a couple things. If it's something you really, really like, you start to see results, you enjoy the process of it, you're going to stick with it, then get into the camera stuff. Get a standalone DSLR. DJI is doing great cameras now, too. Get a GoPro, things like that. But I would just start with your phone or your iPad, whatever. Learn the processes of it. Make sure it's something that you really want to do and pursue, because I know a lot of people that just spend the money on equipment and then they're like, I kind of don't like making videos. I kind of just liked buying and looking at the equipment, which is fine too, but you're going to spend a lot of money doing that. So those are my tips. That was not very structured at all. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have more questions for a future Ask Zach, please leave it in the comments section down below. Take care, guys. Or no, sorry, I keep forgetting. Good night, everyone. Gosh dang it, I keep forgetting that.